Now, another technique that I sometimes use to increase the performance of my portfolio is actually changing my asset allocation. Now, this is a more advanced technique, and I don't suggest you do it as a beginner, or if you're just starting with rebalancing and all of that stuff, give it some time before you test it out. But this is how it works. So, changing your asset allocation can have huge improvements on your portfolio when there is big market movements. Okay, so what does that mean really? Well, let's say your asset allocation is 20% USD, 30% Bitcoin, and 50% altcoins. Well, maybe the market is starting to spike up huge. It's going up, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. And yes, you're rebalancing. You're selling your altcoins, you're selling BTC, and you're to have USD, to have the same asset allocation, which is 20%, 30%, and 50%, like we have here, right? Now, what I'm suggesting, or what I'm saying, is that you could basically change this asset allocation and be like, okay, well, you know what? The market is so high right now. I'm not comfortable having this asset allocation anymore. I want to have a different asset allocation. I want to have 30% in USD, 25% or maybe even 25% in BTC, and 45% in altcoins. So not only am I, rebalancing and taking advantage of the fact that altcoins are going up and Bitcoin is going up and the market is going up to have more USD, but then I decide that I actually want to have a bigger percentage of that. So I actually go in and sell a bunch of all of the other coins to have more percentage in USD. And that's because I feel that, the market is exhausted, and I can have even another asset allocation that if it skyrockets even more, I'm like, okay, well, you know what? This is too much. I want to sell even more of that, and I want to have 40% USDT. I keep 25% Bitcoin, but altcoins, it's going to be too risky right now. I want to reduce to 35%. And so basically, you're timing the market in a way. Now, if the market starts dropping and then crashes, and yes, you keep those whatever asset allocation you have, but maybe it crashes so much and it's at all times low so much that you're like, you know what, this is such a good time to buy that I want to take more risk right now, and I want to have a different asset allocation. I want to be only 10% in USDT and 30% in BTC, and I'm going to pick up a lot of these altcoins now at those really good prices. So I'm going to reduce 10% in here and have it in there. So I'll add to those at that such good price. Now, this is something extremely hard to do. And again, I don't recommend you starting off by doing that. But again, the way it would look, it would be basically like, okay, well, you know what? As the market is going up, I'm liquidating, I'm changing my asset allocation to have more USD and less of the coins. Or if you don't have any USDT, because you might not have, well, I might be reducing the percentage that I have to altcoins and putting more in Bitcoin, because when the market drops, Bitcoin is going to drop less fast than altcoin, so it's still a good move to do. But then, as the market is dropping, I might be like, you know what, okay, we've really dropped. I'm re-switching my asset allocation again and having more coins than USD. And as the market is going back up, you might switch it again. And, we might be here, and now you'd be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm switching again, I'm adding some more. Obviously, it could go down, and then you would have to switch it again and even reduce those percentages more. But it's not as easy, right? So the way I actually have it is I have 5 different asset allocations. I have my regular asset allocation, and then I have another asset allocation that I go for if I feel the market is really high and I feel that we might have a reversal soon. And that one has a little bit more USD and a little bit less Bitcoin and a little bit less alts. And then I have another asset allocation, and that this one has way less alts, And here, so I would have one asset allocations. I would have my regular, and then I would have one that's a little bit more conservative, and another one that's very conservative. And then I would have one that's a little bit more risky, and then one that's very risky. Now, as the market is going up, I might start going from my regular asset allocation, that's 20% Bitcoin, 20% USD, 30% Bitcoin, and 50% alts, to go to something that has 30% USD, and then 25% and 45%, just like we've said, and then maybe go to 40%, and this could be even more. And same thing this way, if the market is really dropping, I might be like, I want to take a more risky portfolio and add to those other coins. Or if it's really down and they're very cheap, then I might be like, okay, well, you know what? I want to really get rid of a lot of my USD and just have way more of altcoins, or whatever percentage I want to have that totals 100%. And that way, I'm taking, if I believe I can call what the market is going to do, I'm taking advantage of those movements by increasing further the effect of rebalancing by actually reallocating completely. Now, this is extremely hard. Timing the market is one of the hardest things in life. Okay? I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and I can tell you for a fact, it's extremely hard. Okay, for professional traders, investors, it's hard. And we never get the top, we never get the bottom, ever. I don't care who you talk to, anybody who does this professionally, not somebody on YouTube, you can't do it. Okay, so even when I'm doing this, and on the charts I'm saying, yeah, I'll get it here, I'll get it, you won't get it there. So sometimes you change your asset allocation and you end up being wrong, and the market keeps going up. And then it would have been better if you didn't change that asset allocation and you just left it. And sometimes you change it again, you add, and the market keeps dropping. So it wouldn't have been a good idea to do it. Now, if you have an eye for it, or if you kind of see when the market is turning and you have a feel for that, then you can do it. But I don't suggest that you do it before actually recognizing that you are able to have a feel for it, or approximately, right? So a lot of people get it wrong when the market actually goes up. Nobody's expecting it, and when the market is crashing, nobody thinks it's gonna crash. So make sure to not do this at all in the beginning. Just have your initial asset allocation, because most of the time you're going to get caught while thinking, oh, well, the market is pretty low now because it's down a bit. I'm going to get out of my USDs and Bitcoins to buy more altcoins. And the next thing you know it, market drops even more, and then you've lost even more on your alts, and you shouldn't have done that. So you have to have enough experience and time watching the market, seeing how it reacts to start doing something like this. So when I'm doing it, I've seen the market a lot. I've seen times where the market drops and everybody's like, oh, this is the bottom, and I'm like, no, it's not. I know that the bottom is when everybody's is exhausted. There's a saying that says, buy when sell on greed, buy when there's blood on the streets. I've lived through crashes, and I've seen when a crash happens, you think it's the end of that product. So I haven't had this feeling with cryptocurrencies, so I know it could move either way. So basically, this is something that's there for you to consider and know that it's a tool that you can use and it's part of your arsenal, but keep it tucked away. Keep it tucked away for extreme times where you're like, oh man, this is an extreme time, and wow, the market it crashed so much, I'm going to change my asset allocation. Or, oh, it's so high that I'm going to change it and go more in USD. That's what you should keep it for. Now, as you gain experience and you become more like me and you're so active and you're able to every few months change the allocation because of X and Y and Z, then you can start doing that. But again, for now, know that it's there and keep it in your back pocket.